Hey y'all, hey, it's Patty with Giddy Things. I am here for day 104 of our 5-minute in name only exercise encouragement. I haven't exercised yet. I'm about to do that and come back. I'm probably just going to do a walk in place type exercise today because it is not even 24 hours really after my Zepbound shot. And one of the things that's kind of a persistent issue that I have with Zepbound injections, which is, a GLP-1 agonist, like it's akin to Ozempic, but it is exactly the same thing as Mounjaro, just under a different name for weight loss, whereas Mounjaro is for people with diabetes. So, flu-like symptoms. Stopped up nose, sometimes a little low-grade fever, which is not unusual for me, and maybe I'll talk about that some more after I exercise. But body aches, I've talked about this in other videos, just flu-like symptoms, basically. And, fortunately, I had a little nausea earlier, but fortunately today, that's about it for gastric stuff. But it's weird because it's different for me every time, which again is not all that strange. Talk about that more later. But I wanted to just clue you in case you're also on a Zepbound journey and you might have, or Ozempic, maybe you have the same kinds of issues with this, or Mounjaro, because it is exactly the same as Zepbound. Zepbound and Mounjaro are both versions of tirzepatide, which is a compound that some people have used in the past as well, when there were shortages, particularly of this medication, or for people who couldn't get the medication. If you want it and you can't get it, I'm so sorry. So more on this later, as well as the debate of, cost benefit analysis on all of this after I have exercised. Another lovely summer supper, this time with beets as well, and a protein shake. I am not going to do this on the regs, but where did I put it? Okay. So there is this that I had, which is Drip Drop, which is an electrolyte drink. I did not have that because I think I'm low on electrolytes. I just wanted to try it. It has fewer milligrams of sodium in it than most electrolyte powders do. What else? What else? Yeah, so I'll tell you more about this in a second, but this one actually is one that I saw online that a doctor developed this. Check with your doctor. Check with your doctor before you try anything like this, because I don't really need it on the regs. I don't think I take magnesium. I try to keep everything in balance. If I need it, I need it, but I don't think I do. But I wanted to try it because I got it for the disembodied voice and the handy helper and the big brother if he comes over and is doing something hot, because of something I heard on the radio on our local NPR about the difference between Gatorade and those IV hydration powders. And the doctor on the radio, again, check with your doctor, this is not medical advice, but he said that these IV hydration powders actually rehydrate your cells in a way that is different from, and maybe superior to, drinks like Pedialyte and Gatorade. Now, he said, Pedialyte and Gatorade are great if that's what you have, but that these might be better for people in the heat of the summer, because that's what the little show was. It was a little 30-minute health show with a local doctor who's really great, and he talked about some of the ways and to rehydrate, and then things, just he had other people on the show about things to think about during the summer. So I don't really drink a lot of that kind of stuff. First of all, it usually has too much salt and sugar. This one was less, but by Drip Drop. But and I also think the doctor has a humanitarian effort going on with this. But for me, it's the sliminess of these electrolyte drinks. So in case I absolutely need it, I usually don't have it, but I got it for them, so I wanted to try it. Oh, I'm going to try not to belch. I'm back, having had my electrolyte drink, more on that in a second, and right now having the protein portion of my dinner, which is a Premier protein shake, just a chocolate shake, with some cold brew coffee by Stoke, S-T-O-K, in it. So yeah, thoughts on the electrolyte drink, to be reflective. I think it was fine. I don't like the way those taste. And I remembered, I remembered primarily that is because they are slimy, like Gatorade. Some people love it. The disembodied voice loves to drink Gatorade to rehydrate, just from time to time. But I was listening to NPR yesterday, to our local NPR station that's out of one of the colleges here. And there's a doctor, a local doctor, who was talking about summer hydration, and he recommended and again, this is not a doctor's recommendation for you, this is just his recommendation, and check with your own physician. But he was talking about how important it is to use these IV hydration type products, and that's one of them. I think it's called IV hydration. Excuse me, that's one that he mentioned. And when I looked, I saw Drip Drop. And I got these specifically for the handy helper, the disembodied voice, the big brother, if he's over here and they're working on something. But I wanted to try it, and I did, and it tasted fine. It was just the slickness of the drink. If you've had electrolyte drinks, you know what I'm talking about. If you like that, I think it's wonderful. I don't particularly, but I thought I'd give it a try. And I think it was fine. I will tell you this. I'm going to have to, in a second, get some of the content off the phone because the storage is low, and it's just telling me that on the screen. But I want to say this before I forget. It did make me feel better to exercise. So the review is in on that. It did make me feel better. And eating, right? I let my blood sugar get too low, I think, is some of the reason. And I think it's a Zepbound side effect. And I don't think it necessarily always is. Some of it is, but I don't think all of it is. More on that in a second when I free up some space on the phone so that I can record some more. I think I might have gotten us some space on the phone. So another thing I was going to say is I will link in the description the indoor walking channel that I used today to do my exercise. So that's how I exercised today. I walked indoors. I was able to engage my upper body by doing, it's kind of the Leslie Sansone style, walk away the pound style thing. But this one was specifically for seniors. And it was neat because I went and looked on the comments, excuse me, for this channel. And I saw people were 17, 25, 98, 99, in their 80s. Someone was talking about doing these exercises with a brother who had Down syndrome. Another person was thanking the channel because her husband has Alzheimer's and his balance has gotten off. And so she was helping him by, I think they may have done this together. So yeah, it was just a really cool experience. And let's see, what else was I going to tell you? Yeah, I really did need to eat. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So sometimes I have a constellation of difference. I always have a constellation of difference. But sometimes some of the things involved in that, and I need to make separate videos about the things that I pay that much attention to. Some stuff I just kind of, you have to take care of yourself and hope that you're taking care of issues. I don't know if that made any sense. I apologize if it didn't. But I have some autoimmune issues that go along with my disability, or that are a part of the constellation of disability. And sometimes my histamine reactions will overarch and overreact to things. Strange overreactions to things. Like, I react more to mosquito bites than your average person. I'll get these like nearly, saucer style welts and bruises and things. I bruise more easily. So not to be boring about all that, but I think sometimes that might be what's going on with Zepbound. And I've looked at some scientific journals, and there is a suggestion that ongoing research says that, there might be an increased response, autoimmune response or histamine response to things, just anything, not just necessarily Zepbound, but just, I've seen that with other medications I've taken in the past, and that'll come up and then it'll go away. But again, check with the doctor to see what's right for you. And if you're having side effects, oh my gosh, be sure to chronicle those. So I was taking some better notes this week. I took note of when I took the shot last night, and I'm kind of tracking more specifically some of my side effects. Like, there was a certain time with Zepbound, with my injection from yesterday, there was a certain time today that I woke up and I felt really just, I don't know, hung over. I'm not very familiar with that feeling, but also just flu-like. I mean, I say that a lot, but flu-like. And then the other part of that was by the time that sort of went away, and I needed to eat. Let's be clear, I needed to eat, and I was trying to drink water, but when you're nauseated, it's hard. I had nausea a little bit after I woke up, and then later on, that became this kind of, cold symptoms sort of thing, flu-like symptoms. And then when I started working out, having taken the shot about 10 o'clock last night, the Zepbound shot. And then when I was working out, I noticed at 6:11 p.m., that is when the sulfurous burps, the burps from the pit of a very, very dark place, started. So that hasn't been something that, once I had enough to drink and did the hydration and did the drip drop, I don't know if that had any impact on it, but it may have, and that kind of got better. We'll see how it goes throughout the night. But I wanted to give you sort of my reflection on that. In addition, to make this sort of an exercise Zepbound crossover video. You may be taking something else. You may not be taking anything to help with your weight loss journey. But if Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, what am I missing? Trulicity, I think maybe. Is Trulicity? I don't know. Is that a travel app? No, that's Travelocity. I think it's Trulicity's. Feels like, is that a real estate app? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll get silly. I'm always silly, but I'll get sillier. I'll be a sillier goose. So yeah, that was just stuff that I wanted to reflect on with you and talk about. I hope you're doing really well. I hope you're taking good care of yourself and doing something today to show yourself how special you are and how loved you are. I certainly do love you. Please do go in peace and love with me to serve others, and please do pray for Ukraine.